You know that feeling when everything just clicks? Your mind is sharp, your mood is steady, your body feels like it's firing on all cylinders. That's not luck, that's what your body is capable of every single day. Now, I've looked into a lot of fish oil supplements, and honestly, most of them are mystery sourced, overprocessed, blasted with heat, and packed with synthetic add-ins. But this one is different. Omega-3 Rejuvenate from Big Bold Health starts with wild Alaskan salmon and cod, sustainably caught from some of the cleanest waters on the planet, and then it's processed at low temperatures to preserve what actually matters. We're talking about real omega-3s, naturally occurring vitamins A and D, and pro-resolving mediators, or PRMs, that help your body balance its own immune response. What does that mean for you? Clearer thinking, more stable mood, and real nature-based support for your heart and immune system. No shortcuts, no synthetic nonsense. And it was developed by Dr. Jeffrey Bland, a true pioneer in the world of complementary health. If you want to feel the difference, go to bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman. That's bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman and use code Hoffman for 20% off site-wide. Once you feel it, you'll know. Welcome back to today's Intelligent Medicine Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Ronald Hoffman. It's our weekly opportunity to answer your questions, and we are happy to address them if you send them to questions@drhoffman.net. By the way, participate in a radio show, slightly different way, call 877-726-8255. Jot that number down because should a question occur to you anytime during the week, even when we're not on the air, you can record a question. We use those questions on the air to augment some of our live calls.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's get back to questions. What's next?
We've got one from Anne. I'm considering taking urolithin A supplement to prevent sarcopenia, although I don't need it for additional energy. My concern is that it may affect my sleep, as I suffer with sleep maintenance insomnia. Will this cell renewal supplement energize me that I might not be able to sleep? I'm a healthy 82-year-old.
Wow.
With no other conditions except for lack of sleep, and I practice intermittent fasting, exercise, and an organic diet.
Wow.
You go, Anne.
Yeah, this is a real optimizer.
Fantastic.
Great. On no meds and,
Yeah.
it feels good.
Great.
And, okay, so obviously sarcopenia is
the diminishing of muscle.
It's the inevitable process that we have to fight against, but we cannot completely overcome it because it is...
I don't think it's inevitable. I think we've been eating the wrong way, and that the requirements for protein need to be increased after a certain age.
Yeah, but I also think...
There's been more evidence of this.
Well, that's hopeful, but I have to say that there is some inevitability to decline in strength.
That's true.
Muscle volume.
That's true.
Almost no matter what you do. And you got to do a lot of resistance training.
Yes.
I think for men, you can take testosterone. You can, for both sexes, you can take DHEA. That's a little anabolic. It's going to actually support muscle. So let's talk about urolithin A, because a lot of people don't know what that is. Urolithin A is a metabolite of something that is in pomegranate. And it's actually, to some extent, its metabolism or its conversion is subject to variations in your microbiome. So it's an interesting substance because it is a mitochondrial support substance. And it's actually the chief ingredient in something called MitoPure.
Yes.
You can look it up, or by
it's on Fullscript.
Timeline is the company that makes it. Is it on Fullscript now?
I thought it was.
I'm not sure it is, because I buy it direct from Timeline.
Okay.
Shout out to Timeline. I'd be happy to have you become a sponsor. I think we actually are approaching them about that. But they have some good spokespeople. They have Kara Fitzgerald and what's his name, Mark Hyman as spokespeople.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't. They're already represented out there, and there's a buzz about it because in JAMA. Oh no, let's see. Is it yet? Which journal was it? It was
in the Journal of the American
JAMA.
Medical Association.
Effective urolithin A supplementation on muscle endurance. And it stimulates mitophagy. That's a play on the word autophagy.
Yes.
but it's like
for the mitochondria.
Mitochondrial regeneration.
Yeah.
And it can improve muscle function in older animals and induce mitochondrial gene expression in older humans. So I'm all in on this. While I'm not in on rapamycin,
Yes.
I take this thing.
You would take the urolithin A.
And it comes in pills or it comes in a powder. And I add the powder to my shake, or I sometimes sprinkle it on, if I'm having like some berries, I'll sprinkle it on the berries.
Yeah.
And maybe have it with some coconut yogurt. So the question is it too stimulating? Well, it's not stimulating in a caffeine-like way.
Yeah.
So it's not going to worsen sleep. It's a subtle effect on the mitochondria. And indeed, if you support the mitochondria, your sleep might get better, because sleep, contrary to what you may expect, it's like the brain shuts off like a light,
Yeah.
The brain is highly active in sleep. And one of the reasons people don't sleep well is their brains are low energy brains.
Yeah.
Low energy brains can't generate the spikes and the patterns of neuronal activity that are associated with deep sleep.
Yes.
There's nothing like the sleep of a young teen or 20-year-old, providing they're not on social media, that screws up their sleep. But, older people with they're worn out, tired brains, their sleep is not as robust.
True.
Because the brain is tiring.
Yeah.
And so if you can support mitochondrial function in the neurons, hopefully that gets across the blood-brain barrier, you're going to get deeper sleep, sort of counterintuitively, with an energizing thing.
Yeah.
Will it prevent sarcopenia? I don't think there are any studies on that. But it does improve muscle endurance, and it does things for the muscles to make them perhaps more efficient.
Yeah.
Will it make them bigger? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's part of my formula for staying strong and active in physical
terrific
exertion. So I take it quite religiously. I even take it when I travel.
Yeah.
Because I'm all in on this. It's kind of pricey. One company makes it. They don't license it to other companies. It's a Timeline company.
Okay.
But I'm for it.
And take it in the morning. Take a dose, see how you feel. But I really, truly encourage you, especially at 82 years of age, to make sure you're getting adequate, high biological value protein to support the retention of that lean body mass, so you don't become sarcopenic or more sarcopenic if that's already
and more studies are saying that the best source if you're going to do a protein powder is whey
because of the branched chain amino acids. It's growth,
and also
it's anabolic.
I think there's a high content of cysteine, which is a building block for glutathione.
Yes, as well. So, and there you go.
Wow. Because what is glutathione? It's glycine.
And cysteine.
And cysteine, and one other. It's a tripeptide.
Glutamine.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You just passed your nutrition exam.
Thank you. I remembered that from when you first asked me that a few years ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. When I got it wrong.
All right. Good point. Just pause because we want to allow one of our actual sponsors, now that we talked about a non-sponsor for a long time, sold a lot of their product. Let's talk about one of our actual sponsors, give them an opportunity to share an important message with you. So here goes, listen up. Ever walk into a room and forget why you're there? Lose your train of thought mid-sentence? Feel like your brain is running on fumes by 2 p.m? Try Kyolic Specialty Series Smart Mushrooms Plus. This isn't caffeine. It's not some jittery stimulant that crashes you an hour later. This is a clean, science-backed formula built around certified organic lion's mane mushrooms, clinically shown to support the nerve growth factor that actually helps your brain maintain and organize neurons. We're talking real foundational support for focus and mental clarity, and it doesn't stop there. It's combined with Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract, aged up to 20 months on organic California farms, plus Aronia Berry Extract, selenium, and vitamin B12 for long-term brain health and executive function. 2 capsules with a meal, once a day, vegan, non-GMO, no gluten, no dairy, no artificial anything. Kyolic Smart Mushrooms Plus from Wakanaga. Learn more about this and the entire Kyolic Mushrooms Plus line at kyolic.com. That's KYOLIC.com. Look for Kyolic at natural health stores nationwide and online. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. And, people sometimes say, they listen to this podcast and they're like, oh, so there's like commercials or there's, we talk about products. And, there's other ways to monetize this. I could charge a subscription fee for this, as some people do for the podcasts.
Yeah.
I could sell advertisement to via, Amazon or something like that, there are ways of monetizing and they could advertisement for, an extended warranty on your car.
Yeah.
Or, any number of things that I have no control over, but there would be money enough to support the podcast. That I think is a disservice to the public. So I'm not doing that. So this is our chosen way of supporting our efforts to sustain this podcast.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So we appreciate your listenership and patience in listening to these spots, but we hope they're informative because they're products that are useful.
Absolutely. Okay. We've got an email from Joanne. Dr. Hoffman and Leyla, I'm a 54-year-old postmenopausal woman, and I have no libido. Almost 2 years ago, I had a full hysterectomy due to uterine cancer. I'm contemplating taking a supplement to increase my libido. It includes black cohosh, ashwagandha, KSM-66, which is like a full-spectrum ashwagandha, and chasteberry. Are these herbs estrogenic?
Okay.
I ask. Okay.
So interesting predicament. By the way, this is such a common predicament.
She also has Hashimoto's. That's an important part of it.
Women lose their libido often at menopause. What complicates that is if you have a hysterectomy, because you are losing a reproductive organ.
Yeah.
And it actually has an impact on your sexual response, even though they think, oh, you don't need that, honey, because you're not having kids anymore.
Right.
It does have an impact.
Yeah.
And if you have your ovaries out, the ovaries, even after menopause, are still cranking out some stuff.
Right.
So
it's a hormone.
So when you have all those reproductive organs taken out, where you get your androgens from is from your adrenals.
Yeah.
You're going to get some DHEA, and eventually that finds its way into testosterone, which actually has an impact for women. So this is women's libido is not a matter of sheer hydraulics, right? Because for men, it's like fluid hydraulics. It's like prime the pump, take, Viagra, Levitra, Cialis.
Yeah.
They really open up the blood vessel channels to your reproductive organs, and to a minor extent that may help women. I think a very small percentage of women actually get a libido enhancement from taking those drugs.
There was an episode of Sex and the City where Samantha took Viagra for it and then had trouble stopping it. She enjoyed it so much. Anyway.
That was Samantha. Okay.
On Sex and the City.
Right. Well, that's a lot of wishful thinking for most women.
Right.
So, all right. So there's...
so it's not just a matter of hydraulics.
Right. So the things that she mentioned, I think, are kind of weak in terms of their potential to enhance libido. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, but I don't think it's an aphrodisiac. For women, the main supplements are maca. Yeah. Maca, and a product I like is called Essence, which I recommend for women. And sometimes that works. And sometimes DHEA works, and women can safely take DHEA. I generally like to do it under medical supervision because now there's a little quibble because she had uterine cancer. But if she had uterine cancer and she's been in remission for a long time, it's not likely we're going to in any way stimulate that with DHEA.
She also has Hashimoto's, and she has a benign pituitary adenoma.
Well, pituitary adenomas tend to affect the endocrine system. Yeah. But I don't think that that's part and parcel of that. I mean, in a male, you might have actually with a pituitary adenoma, you can actually have reduction in testosterone. Yeah. This is something you have to check out because you can't just say every man who has low testosterone, that's just low T. It could be due to something that actually is in the brain.
Yeah.
And that has to be treated sometimes. It has to be
Yeah.
surgically removed. So anyway, cause high prolactin, you have prolactin that suppresses testosterone. It's complicated.
Yeah.
All right. So what else?
Chasteberry is like progesterone.
So I
right?
actually, among the things that
Yeah.
I think we need less of, there's this drug that was approved in 2015 called Adgye, ADDYE. Have you heard about it?
No.
It's because it's not too popular.
Oh.
It is a female enhancing drug that was originally developed as an antidepressant, and it works on the brain. Now, unlike men,
Where it's about hydraulics.
where it's below the waist,
Yeah.
for women, a lot of sex is above the neck.
True.
And
Yeah.
so women are very much more prey to psychological issues, not, that like maybe you're not in a relationship or in a good relationship. Maybe the partner is being mean to you.
Right. Maybe you're angry at your partner.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel like...
But if you've had operation on your reproductive organs, definitely it could be a problem. You can take testosterone. That has to be prescribed. Testosterone works for some women, but not all. You can also, another barrier to women's sexual response is it hurts.
Right.
And if she's not on estrogen and she had a hysterectomy, her estrogen is going to be way low.
Yeah.
So how can you enjoy something that hurts?
Right.
Unless you're a masochist.
Right.
But it's not the kind of hurt that is like...
I don't think she's talking BDSM.
No,
or anything.
I don't think so. Bondage, whatever. So if it hurts, take some estrogen, either systemically or locally.
Right.
Now, estrogen is not magic for libido by any means.
No.
And in fact, this is something I learned recently, is say women go on standard hormone replacement therapy after menopause. They take estrogen and take progesterone, either in a pill or in a patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It suppresses their testosterone. It sends, there's a feedback suppression of your testosterone. So you almost have to give a little bit of testosterone
to rebalance that out.
So, and or DHA.
Okay.
And DHA works more to enhance libido in women than in men. And possibly the reason for that is it doesn't produce much testosterone, and men have a lot of testosterone to begin with, and women just respond much more in a more sensitive way to even a little bit of testosterone. A little dabble do you, as the Bro Cream commercial once promoted. So a little testosterone could be helpful.
That could be helpful.
But it is, they sort of solved it for men, but for women
not
are
so much.
Yeah, women are lagging behind in.
And the same also goes for so much scientific research.
Yeah.
Subjects were men primarily.
Yeah.
I remember back when this first came out, I think it was on 60 Minutes. This was many years ago. They talked about Ambien, that the dosing on Ambien, the sleep aid, was done primarily for men. That dose is for men.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily for women, and we've been overdosing women.
Yeah.
And who are the primary takers of Ambien? Women.
Right.
So anyway, I remember when all this came out at the time.
But this is actually, I think, one of the holy grail things to find something that really addresses female sexual dysfunction or hypoactive sexual arousal syndrome. They give it various acronyms. But something, it's almost like medicalizing something that is kind of a natural part of life.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, I don't know, some women feel there's a stigma associated with it.
Right.
It's like, sometimes, hey,
a full hysterectomy is equivalent to castration.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel much libido after that, are you?
Look at your pets. When an animal gets, either the male gets spayed or neutered, the females get spayed, they tend to get a little plumper. They get a little, to change.
Yeah. So maca would be a suggestion.
Maca.
Rather than an ashwagandha or a chasteberry
so.
or something like that. Try some maca, Joanne.
Yeah.
See what that does for you, or talk to your doctor about a little DHA.
But, God bless you for having an interest. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
There's something to be addressed. There are actually a very small number of female gynecologists or urologists because they're predominantly dealing with, like, ED is a big thing. You can go to a million urologists, they'll fix men's, they got a lot of things.
Right.
They give you a penile implant, they give all kinds of things they have. Very niched thing for women, but there's some practitioners who are experts at addressing female sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
But, by the way, so Addy, this Addy drug, you could use it, but it has some kind of unpleasant side effects. Like, it can make you
said it was
faint.
first an antidepressant?
It can make you faint.
Oh.
Here's some of the side effects.
So let's see. It'll make you swoon.
Well, that could turn the male on, but
Baby, right?
Here's
He'll
the
catch
Addy.
you.
I think I wrote about it this week. Okay, let me find it. Addy. Adgy. The little pink pill for female sexual dysfunction. Even in the clinical trials, only 10% of women reported meaningful improvements in satisfying sexual events, sexual desire, or distress. On average, they obtained 0.5 to 1 additional satisfying sexual experiences per month.
That's not significant.
And I'm tempted to wonder what constitutes a half satisfying sexual event. It's like, I had a 0.5 increase in my satisfying sexual events this month.
I have 2.5 children.
Side effects of Addy include, get ready for this, dizziness, drowsiness, nausea, fatigue, and even fainting. All decidedly
unromantic. I remember reading that and just bursting out loud. All decidedly unromantic. Joanne, there you go. Maca, maybe DHEA. Talk to your doctor maybe about testosterone.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Could do it. Again, there may be a caution around prior history of uterine cancer,
sure.
But I believe if she has a good track record of especially localized uterine cancer that did not show the sign of spread, and she's had a nice interval, that she should not be leery of the application of hormones.
Okay.
Because it's a quality of life thing.
Sure. And continuing with surveillance
the benefits
is important.
outweigh the very tiny risks.
Yeah. Okay. Betsy wrote us, "Hi, Dr. Hoffman. I had a question about the vegan twin study. Did they only look at erectile function in men, or did they do an actual semen analysis? I work at a sperm bank, and I wondered if a vegan diet might help donors improve their modal sperm count, volume, or quality."
So two sides of it. One was like they actually did a twin study, which is interesting because you have two genetically equivalent people, and then they looked at male infertility, and I don't recall if they looked at sexual function. They looked at infertility primarily and sperm quality, and they found that by being on a vegan or plant-based diet, it wasn't like exclusively vegan, but like lots and lots of plant foods, there was improvement in sperm quality. I think that study had a little bit of an agenda because they actually said that eating meat with saturated fat was deleterious. And I can't think of a reason why that would be unless it's a crappy meat diet, a really crappy meat diet. So it may be the control group just ate meat, but ate whatever the heck they wanted,
Right.
And one
like
group.
other crap.
And one group out of it. So then a subsequent study that I just reviewed, I talked about it on my radio show, found that a Mediterranean diet, but a low-carb vegetarian diet, where they even eliminated potatoes, was helpful for increasing testosterone and for improving sperm motility.
Wow.
And whatever the DNA changes that cause sperm not to function well. So that study, I think, takes it a little away from the issue of you should become a vegetarian to you should have lots of, what we discussed is include a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables to the extent they're tolerated.
Yeah.
But
don't go completely vegan because all that soy, we already know from previous studies, aren't great for men's fertility.
Exactly. That's, it's a bit of an estrogenic thing. And,
right.
Both libido and testosterone production might be hampered. This comes around to another thing is, I listened to Peter Attia, talk, and he talks a lot about, himself because he's, he monitors everything.
Because that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's on these drugs to completely knock out his cholesterol because he has a little tiny score of some calcium and he has a bad family history. So he's on 3 drugs to lower his cholesterol.
Oh, boy.
So he's like a triple cocktail. And so then he's throwing out there, he's talking to some guy about hormones and goes, you know what? I just am concerned because my testosterone's kind of low. I can't figure out why. My testosterone's low. Like, I wonder.
All the statins.
Well, it's
That's a substrate.
Well, any drug that reduces cholesterol is a building block for testosterone.
Yeah.
So if you don't have enough building blocks, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. It's talked about. So if your cholesterol, and I've talked about this even on podcasts, if you're taking a statin and you're wondering why you're a little down or you have a lack of libido, it could, you need some cholesterol. It's the substrate to make all the other hormones. You need this stuff in your brain.
It's the building block for
stuff.
all the steroid hormones.
Yeah.
So anyway, just saying.
So, when we talk about, like earlier on in part 1 about the CRISPR technology to completely knock out cholesterol.
The consequences downstream of cholesterol, which is a really
complete and utter infertility all over the world.
Ubiquitous substance that is there for a reason.
Yeah. My gosh, yeah.
Is it the culprit? And did God make us to? Did He make a mistake? Did human evolution, go awry?
Right.
So anyway, time for a bonus question, folks. You want to stick around for a bonus question because
bonus question.
We're going along here, but we're just
We've got an email here from Lisa in Florida. Dear Dr. Hoffman and Leyla, in Florida, there are many walk-in IV facilities which offer a wide variety of drip cocktails containing vitamin C, glutathione,
and by the way,
Myers.
This is something that I was really big in the 1980s and 1990s. I kind of was
2000s
a pioneer offering IVs in my office.
Yeah.
Vitamin C drips and the so-called Myers cocktail and glutathione and chelation therapy, intravenous chelation therapy.
Yeah. These are very popular with athletes. I may be interested in getting the NAD cocktail. Could you please give your opinion of these IV drips, especially the NAD one?
Well, I believe that supplementing with NAD is a good thing.
Yeah.
And NAD can be increased orally for ultimately less expense, though some of the supplements are pricey. Nicotinamide riboside and nicotinamide mononucleotide, which, by the way, is becoming harder to get because there's kind of a fight over whether it should be a patent medication.
Still?
Yeah. Amazon has stopped selling it. And I think it's all the, Whole Food shelves. Because there's the proprietary company under David Sinclair who's done the research is saying it's our baby and, we're going to apply for exclusivity on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you can get nicotinamide riboside. I take it under the True Niagen name, and I prescribe it to patients. I think it's also, along with urolithin A, and coenzyme Q10, and magnesium, one of the plausible things for mitochondrial support. So NAD will potentially help athletic performance.
Yeah.
But it may also be good for brain. It may be good for, some kind of a rejuvenative or anti-aging therapy. But the word's not out on it. It's a little speculative now because not enough studies have been done. Okay. I don't think there are a lot of studies that conclusively show that an infusion of NAD superpowers you before an event. I'd like to see those studies. And I'd also like to see what's in the secret sauce for all the athletes when they're, in effect, doping.
Yeah.
And they're trying to use substances that are undetectable and legal. And NAD might come under the radar in terms of the extensive testing they do. And you better believe that if it increased athletic performance by even like 0.001%, that might be the winning margin in something like an Olympic event or Tour de France or, marathon or something like that. They'd be doing it. So I don't know if that is worthwhile. It is a bit of a fad, I think.
Okay.
Because the idea is like if something is good orally, giving it intravenously is better. because you have bypassed the digestive tract, you go right in the bloodstream, you go into the cells.
Yes.
Maybe I'd like to see some proof of that proposition.
Okay.
And, since now I don't administer those therapies, my practice is consultative, and I don't have an IV room where people are happily sitting getting drips.
Yeah.
I have no conflict of interest in discussing this. I'm not promoting this on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
So objectively, I'm thinking, I don't know, it makes money for some people and it's trendy, and some people think they feel better, but there's a placebo effect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. Lisa, there you go. And they are popular.
Yeah.
Well, I guess more so in Florida than in...
And they're popular in Las Vegas. It's called the hangover cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have actually hangover wagons, and sometimes
That's a banana bag. Yeah, it's a bag full of B vitamins, right?
Yeah.
The hangover cocktail.
And there's sometimes people will charter like a mobile IV van for a wedding or something like that. So you can get
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, and you wake up and you have an IV, and then you go for your Bloody Mary or.
There you go. Little hair of the dog the next day at brunch, right?
Keep the guests happy.
Right.
So anyway, on that note, let's just mention that questions@drhoffman.net is the place to go. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to our newsletter. We got some special reports. We've got Immunity Reset at drhoffman.com. You click on the Read drop-down menu, then click Immunity Reset. We also have a nice video, drhoffman.com/defensive eating, where we tell you, you and I did a video seminar which will arm you with proven strategies that you can put to use immediately, with or without Ozempic, Mounjaro.
Oh my God.
Which are
Wegovy.
rapidly taking over the world. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and this is the Intelligent Medicine Podcast.
I want to thank you for listening to the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app, and get new episodes automatically downloaded every weekday. And please give us a rating and review. It truly helps new people discover intelligent medicine. The Intelligent Medicine Podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice, and no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions. Finally, please visit drhoffman.com and discover everything intelligent medicine has to offer, including frequently updated, unbiased health news and fully vetted product and supplement recommendations.
This is Leyla Muden, registered dietitian nutritionist. I maintain a private practice and see patients regularly. If you require a nutrition consult with me but live out of town, there's no need to travel to New York City. I have telephone and telehealth consultations with clients from all over the country. Please visit drhoffman.com for more information. And to set up an appointment, call 212-779-1744. That's 212-779-1744. I look forward to being a collaborator in your healthcare.